Hello friends, welcome to my channel Clinical Biochemistry by Dr. P.K. Prabhakar. Today we are going to talk about the Sanger's method for DNA sequencing. So first we will see what is DNA sequencing, and then we will go in the detail about the methodology, how this methodology works and what is happening. So first, DNA is a sequence of nucleotides where it is a polymer of nucleotides where many nucleotides join together, and normally DNA is a double helical structures. So DNA sequencing is the process for the determination of the sequence of nucleotides. So in the DNA, as we know that DNA is a sequence of polynucleotides, means many nucleotides will be joined together. So the evaluation of the sequences, the arrangement of the nucleotides in the DNA is called as DNA sequencing. We know that DNA composed of 4 different types of nucleotides, that is adenine, thymine, cytosine and guanine. So here we are going to evaluate those arrangement of these 4 nucleotides in the DNA fragments. So there are different methodologies for the DNA sequencing. 4 important methods for DNA sequencing are: the first method is called as chemical degradation methods, which was developed by Maxam and Gilbert. Second methodology is dideoxy chain termination methods, which is developed by Sanger's method, and today we are going to talk about the Sanger's method only. Later on in another video we will talk about the Maxam-Gilbert methods, and then we will have pyrosequencing methodology and next generation sequencing methodology. Next generation sequencing or the pyrosequencing are the new techniques which is normally used for large scale approaches, and by these 2 methods we can increase the speed as well as we can reduce the cost of the DNA sequencing. So we are going to see one by one. I have already told you DNA sequencing is the process for the determination of the sequence of nucleotides, that is adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine in the piece of DNA. Like you can see, this is one fragment of DNA which is composed of different nucleotides. So we are just going to evaluate the arrangement of these nucleotides in the DNA sequence by methodology. This Sanger's method is normally most of the steps are manually we are doing it. So it is we cannot do for larger piece of DNA fragment. So maximum we can go for 900 base pair of the length of DNA can be sequenced. Same the Sanger's method only has been used in the Human Genome Project for the means human genomes gene sequencing evaluations. How it works for the Human Genome Project was this. We know that in a human genome we are having it is DNA, many different DNAs. First, those DNAs have been spliced into many different fragments into small pieces, and then each piece will be of DNA is going to be sequenced. So their DNA nucleotide fragment, nucleotide arrangement has been evaluated, and then those sequences are arranged in the correct order after seeing the overlapping region. Like you can see this portion of this DNA is overlapping with this one. So the sequence of this region will be similar to this sequence region. So after evaluating such type of overlapping regions, the DNA fragment has been arranged and a complete genome sequence of the human was evaluated. This Sanger's method was first given by Sanger in 1977, and so it is called as Sanger's methodology also. The first we will see in this method we are going to use the normal DNA replication processes. Normal replication process means in our cells DNA is going to be replicated with the help of DNA polymerase enzyme. So what are our basic requirements for the DNA replications are? We require a basic DNA template. So this DNA template we are going to use and make a complementary strands that will be done by this DNA polymerase. So DNA polymerase is the enzyme which uses this template strands and add the complementary nucleotides. For addition of nucleotides, it requires a basic platform starter points. A starter point means DNA polymerase needs a 3' OH. So without this hydroxyl group at the 3' end, DNA polymerase cannot add any nucleotides. Means whenever a new nucleotide is going to be added by DNA polymerase, it will be added at the 3' end. So 5' end of this newly upcoming nucleotides is going to be associated, going to be linked with this 3' OH with the help of phosphodiester bond. So we require a primer for the DNA replication, we require a DNA polymerase, we require a template. In the primer we require 3' OH. Along with that one, we have to provide all the 4 different nucleotides in the deoxy forms. So it is DATP, DCTP, DGTP and DTTP. So this DNA polymerase, according to the arrangement of the nucleotides on this template strands, they are going to add the 1 nucleotide each time on this growing chain in the 5' to 3' direction, and ultimately we are going to make a complementary strands. So this is the normal DNA replication process. In the case of Sanger methodology, we are going to use the same methodology. So whenever a new nucleotide is going to be added to the pre-existing 3' end, so here you can see it, this is the pre-existing nucleotide which is having 3' OH. So this is the first position, this is second carbon, this is third carbon, this is fourth carbon, this is fifth carbon. So at the 3' it is having OH, and this is the newly upcoming nucleotides, the nucleotides which is coming for the to be added onto the growing chain of DNA. So on this newly coming nucleotides we are having 5' phosphate. So DNA polymerase helps in the association of this phospho, means new nucleotide coming, and phosphodiester bond formation between the phosphate and the 3' OH, and ultimately a phosphodiester bond has been formed with the removal of water. When this phosphodiester bond forms because of DNA polymerase, we are going to have a growing chain, long chain of DNA. So every time 3' OH and 5' phosphate forms a phosphodiester bond. So these are the different phosphodiester bond between different sugars of the different nucleotides. Now the important point which you need to remember is we require this 3' OH group. Without this 3' OH, the new nucleotide cannot be added. So that is the most important point here. So you can say this is the normal nucleotide which is having a 3' OH. This is deoxyribonucleotide. Why it is called as deoxyribonucleotide? Because at the second prime position it does not have oxygen. So it is without oxygen at the second prime position. In the Sanger methodology, we are not using this, we are using the normal nucleotide in the deoxy form. Along with that one, we are also going to use a specialized nucleotide that is called as dideoxynucleotide. Di means 2, deoxy means without oxygen. So in this case, the third prime OH is replaced with hydrogen, means oxygen is deficient there. So we are going to modify the normal DNTP into DDNTP, means 2 places oxygen is not there. So what is the advantages of using dideoxy forms? Whenever we have OH group, new nucleotide can be added there, and whenever this will be added, this does not have hydroxyl group, so new nucleotide cannot be added there, so chain will be terminated there. So whenever DDNTP, dideoxy form of nucleotide, is added into DNA chain, the DNA synthesis will be terminated there. So no fresh nucleotide will be added at this place, so chain will be stopped there. So this type of nucleotide, dideoxynucleotides, is also called as chain terminating nucleotides. And this methodology of the DNA sequencing, which is Sanger methodology, is called as chain termination methods, or also called as dideoxynucleotides. Why it is called as chain termination? Because we are using dideoxynucleotides, and in dideoxy forms we don't have hydroxyl group at 3' positions, so chain will be terminated there, no new nucleotide will be added there. That's why it is called as chain termination methods. And because we are using dideoxy form of nucleotides, so it is called as dideoxy DNA sequencing. Now we will see the detailed process. So what are the components we require in this sequencing methodology, sequencing process? So we require a DNA polymerase enzyme which is going to add the new nucleotides, either normal deoxynucleotides or dideoxynucleotides. So along with that polymerase, we require a primer for the DNA sequence which will work as a starter point. 4 different type of nucleotides, that is deoxyribonucleotide, that is adenine, thymine, cytosine and guanine. A template DNA which need to be sequenced, and all the 4 nucleotides in dideoxy form. that is DD-ATP, DD-TTP, DD-CTP, DD-GTP, and all these will be labeled with radioactive substances, or it will have a color producing substances. So these are all basic requirements: a polymerase enzyme, a primer, 4 different type of normal nucleotide, deoxynucleotide, 4 types of dideoxynucleotides, and a template strands. Now, this Sanger methodology is basically a process of 6 different steps. So total 6 steps are there. First, whatever double-stranded DNA we are going to have, it has to be denatured by using heat. So hydrogen bond between the 2 strands will be broken. So both strands will be separated out. Then we are going to use primer. So primer will be an enzyme associated with the complementary base pairing of the nucleotides at one of the strands. Then this primer along with nucleotides and some other components will be mixed in the 4 different tubes, and each tube are specific for each nucleotide. Like this is for adenine, this is for thymine, this is for cytosine, this is for guanine. So 4 tubes for 4 specific nitrogenous bases. So their different components will be added there. Then we are going to chain will be elongated with the help of polymerase in each tube. So here also DNA, this chain will be elongated. In this one also chain will be elongated. In this case also chain will be elongated. In this case also chain will be elongated. Once chain will be elongated, so we will get a double-stranded DNA. After that, you have to again denature the DNA, so both strands will be separated out. And then we are going to do the electrophoresis. After electrophoresis, we are going to see the bands of the specific sequence of the DNA with the help of autoradiography or color production, and then we are going to evaluate the DNA sequence. So how these are the 6 different steps. How these 6 steps works in the details, that we are going to see now. So what we are going to do, we are going to take 4 different test tubes, and these test tubes are designated for a specific nucleotides. Like I have told you, one for adenine, one for thymine, other for cytosine, and fourth for guanine. So in this case, we are going to use in all the 4 test tubes, we are going to use these components will be common for all the tubes. Like each tube contains a DNA template. For time being, we can assume this is my DNA template. So this template will be in all the tubes, 4 tubes. DNA primer in the many copies, and here it is radio level. So that will be also in this all the 4 tubes. So here also we are having normal DNA template. Here also DNA template. Here also we are having DNA template. Here also we are having DNA template. Then DNA primer. Here also we are having DNA primer. Here also DNA primer. So in all the 4 cases we are having DNA primer. DNA polymerase, which is the enzyme, that is also present in all the 4 cases. So we are having DNA polymerase. And then all the 4 nucleotides, normal nucleotides, in the sufficient amount, that is adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, that will be there. And so these 4 components is common in all the 4 tubes. Other than that one, as we have designated this tube as adenine, so we are going to use DD-ATP, dideoxy form of adenine triphosphate in this tube only. So in this tube we don't have dideoxy form of cytosine, guanine, and thymine. Similarly, this tube was designated for cytosine, so this tube contains, along with these 4 components, it contains DD-CTP, but no DD-ATP, no DD-GTP, no DD-TTP. Similarly, this tube is designated for guanine, so it contains these 4 components plus DD-GTP. Similarly, this is designated for T, so it contains these 4 components plus DD-TTP. Now, what is going to happen? So DNA template is there. Along with that one DNA template, we are having primer, DNA polymerase, which will bind there and start chain elongation. So in this chain elongation, whatever nucleotide will be here, so complementary nucleotide need to be added here by this DNA polymerase. So because in each tubes we are having these 4 nucleotides and one specific nucleotide, that is dideoxy form. So here for time being, just if we can assume that here we are having adenine on the template strand, so here thymine will be added. So in case of the tubes which contains DTTP along with DDTTP, so here in these tubes either this thymine will be added or dideoxyform will be added. If normal DTTP will be added, so it will have 3' OH, so chain can be elongated further also. But unfortunately, if this will be dideoxyform will be added, there only this chain will be terminated. So both options will be there, and then it is going to be work there. So what we are going to see here, we are talking each tube separately. So think about the first tube, that is which contains DDATP along with adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine. So this is my template strands, and DNA polymerase is binding associated there, and they are going to add the nucleotides. In these tubes we are having normal form, normal adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine plus DDATP. So adenine can here, because in the template we are having thymine, so here adenine need to be added. Now we are going to add adenine. So either this adenine will be added or this adenine will be added. So if you are going to add this adenine, this chain will be move further. If this adenine will be added, then chain will be terminated there only. Similarly here, if at this place this adenine has been added, so chain has gone up to here, because normal thymine will be added, normal guanine will be added, normal cytosine will be added. After that, here also again two options will be there, either this adenine or this adenine. Again, if this will be added, chain will further move, but if this will be added, chain will be terminated there only. So possibility is there, we are having three different kind of chains will be there. So either chain will be terminated here only, or chain will be elongated up to here, or chain will be elongated up to here. So in these tubes, your chain, we have different type of DNA fragment other than this. So this is one strands, you have this is another strands, and this is third strand. So means this much big DNA, this much big DNA, and this much big DNA. You have got it. Similarly, when we are going for cytosine, so here guanine is there, so here cytosine need to be added. So either normal cytosine or normal cytosine or dideoxyform of cytosine. So either chain will be terminated here, then this much DNA, or chain will be terminated here, or chain will be terminated here. So again here we are having three different kind of DNA fragments, we have got it. Similarly, when we are going to use GTTP, here also we are having normal adenine, normal thymine, normal cytosine, normal guanine. At this point, either this guanine will be added or this guanine will be added. If this guanine is going to be added, so chain can elongate further, but if this will be added, chain will be terminated there only. So either chain will be terminated here or chain can be terminated here. So two types of DNA we have got it. Similarly, in case of DDTTP, so either chain will be terminated here or here or here or here. So we have got four different type of DNA fragments. So overall this is the picture. In case of adenine, we have got three different type of DNA fragments. In case of DDCTP second tubes, we have got three different type of DNA fragments. In case of DDGTP, we have got two types of DNA fragment. In case of DDTTP, we have got four different type of DNA fragment. All these DNA fragments is going to be hybridized, means going to be separated by heating, and then it will be separated by gel electrophoresis. So this is adenine, first tube adenine, then cytosine, then guanine, and then thymine. So for what else components we have got? So all these DNA sample has been poured into this first tube. All these three components, three DNA fragments has been poured into the second channel. All these two and all these four will be poured into the third and fourth channel, and it will be separated out. We know that gel electrophoresis DNA is going to be separated on the basis of their size. The smallest DNA moves maximum. So the smallest DNA piece will be further in the last point, and the largest DNA will be near to the well. So all these tubes has been arranged on the basis of their size. Now you can see In this case, the smallest DNA piece is this one. So this is the smallest piece of DNA. The second smallest is this one. So similarly, this is the smallest one, this is the second smallest one. So this is according to the size has been arranged. So largest fragment will be near to the well and the smallest fragment will be maximum farthest from the well. Those bands which we have seen on the gel is going to be auto radiographed, and we have got this type of pictures. Now we are going to write the complement, whatever base you have seen here, that will be going to write here. So this is the bottom. So we are going to see this is adenine. So we will write adenine here. This is thymine. So we are going to write here. This is guanine. So we will write here. This is, so we have got a DNA sequence like this one. This is a arrangement depending on the size. So as adenine, what the first nucleotide, that is at the 5' end. How it will be at 5' end, that you can see here. In the case of this one, this is 5'. So here we are having adenine. So this is 5' and 3'. So that fragment you can see here. So this is 5' adenine, thymine, like this one. This is the newly formed DNA strands. Now once you have got this newly formed DNA strands, so you can write the complementary base in front of that one. So this is the original DNA strands, and we have made a radio level and dideoxynucleotide. On the basis of that one, we have got this picture. So this is the DNA sequence. Once you have got the original DNA strands, you can write it. So this is how we have done the sequencing with the help of dideoxy form of nucleotide, dideoxynucleotides, as well as by chain termination methodology. This methodology has been given by the Sangers. So this is more of in the details about the Sanger's chain termination technology, chain termination methodology. So if you have understand, or hope you have understand everything. If you have any query, any things, you can write in the comment box. If you have not understand, or if you have any kind of questions, you can write it in the comment box. But when we are talking about the limitations, the Sanger methodology has one limitation, is that is, if this sequencing gives high quantity sequence for relatively long stretch of DNA up to 900 base pair only. So it is typically used for sequencing individual pieces of DNA fragments, such as small pieces like bacterial plasmids, DNA copied for PCR. Another disadvantage of this one is this Sanger sequencing methodology is an expensive process, and it is inefficient for the large scale projects, such as the sequence of the entire genome, metagenomic studies. So this is so because of that one, we have another methodology which can be used. So this is all about for today's in talks of Sanger sequencing. If you are not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. Please press the bell button so that you will get all the notifications as soon as the video will be uploaded. If you have liked the video, press the like button and you can share it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.